temple was opened. And the reason I'm here was I was invited by the abbot to do English class simply because I can speak a little bit more English than the monks. By the way, just as a disclaimer, opener, you know, the many monks here who don't seem to be able to communicate themselves very well or express themselves very well, don't underestimate their depth of knowledge, okay? If you do listen to them or talk to them in Thai, you'll be very intrigued as to the depth of knowledge they know. But the moment they try to speak in English, it's totally different. It's not easy, okay? Even for me, a lot of time I get stuck. I try my best to not stumble, but impossible because you can't speak as fast as you can think. And then sometimes you think in a different language. So, I mean, anyway, monks have been here many, many, many years, and not too many of them can express themselves real well. And that's why they require translators like me and myself and others. Okay, now, last week we started to talk about the core practice of Buddhism, which are three, meaning morality, concentration, and wisdom. Okay, but because of the shortness of time, I could only touch on the heading, but did not get into detail. Today I'm gonna try to complete it. So the core practice of Buddhism, let me just go ahead and address it. The first one is sila. Sila is a Pali word. In fact, the direct translation of the word sila is norm, to be normal, norm. Okay? Sila, even though many people would interpret it as a precept or as a prohibition or commandment, but actually the real meaning is norm, to be normal. In other words, you know, as a human being, it is normal not to kill, not to steal, not to have sexual misconduct, take alcohol, what have you. It's a normal quality of a person, not of a savage or an animal. But if they say, oh, it's a norm, okay, practice norm, you don't understand what it is. The core practice of Buddhism is the first, first, the 5 precepts, which all of you know, but it consists of not to kill, not to steal, not to indulge in sexual misconduct, not to lie, and not to be intoxicated. Those are the 5, okay? Now, precepts in Buddhism is, some monks want to compare the concept to other religions, like, for example, as a precept for Islam and Jewish religion, the precept that you shall not eat pork. So if you eat pork, you're committing a violation, a sin, which is punishable. But in Buddhism, you can pretty much eat almost everything except 7 or 8 kinds of animals. One of them is a horse, elephant, tiger, human, snake, something like that. And take, for example, a snake or tiger. If people go out and hunt them, maybe you are opening yourself to risks, okay, to danger. Maybe that's one of the reasons why the Buddha did not discourage eating them. Well, eating human, of course, you know, I don't have to explain much. Any question about sila so far? Precepts? Precepts mean morality in the practical term, okay? Next, samadhi, unless you are a seasoned meditator, maybe you're not familiar with this word. This is another Pali word which actually means concentration or mental cultivation. Okay? It means meditation, basically. Panya, wisdom. This is a big word in Buddhism, and not too many people really can give you a good definition about wisdom. Last session, none of you actually hit the point. Would you like to try to describe what the definition of wisdom is?
Let's see. Conscious knowing.
Okay. Anyone else?
Seeing things as they are.
Okay. The direct translation, panya, okay, wisdom, panya, means to know correctly. You can know a lot of things, but it could be incorrect too. Welcome back, Sri Rama. Okay, we're just beginning. We'll talk about core practice of Buddhism. These three, I'm sure you're familiar with. Okay, now today we're gonna talk about why. You know, why do you practice all this, or the things that we practice? And we're gonna emphasize on wisdom. First of all, sila. When you practice moral precept, okay, the benefit or the effect of the practice is when you at least observe the 5 precepts, it frees you from anxiety, worry, fear, unrest, okay, and make you feel better about yourself. If you don't kill even insects, it makes you feel better, you know. If you don't lie, you don't feel like I'm doing something bad, and so on. And certainly make you more peaceful. The teaching monks encourage that if you want to meditate well, you should observe the precepts, because if you don't, while you are getting into a deep meditation, a lot of things will come to haunt you, like make you feel unrest, anxious, or even regretful and all that. So they encourage, if you really want to be a good meditator and be a high achieving meditator, you should practice the precepts. People who drink regularly, some monks have actually put on a test that if you drink before you meditate, compared to when you don't drink before you meditate. Let's say you drink every day, but you want to do good in meditation, you stop drinking for a few days and sit down and compare. You know a big difference in your meditation. Samadhi, mental cultivation, meditation, improves the quality of your mind, okay, resulting in wisdom. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? So killing is bad, but what if your action leads to someone dying, or your inaction leads to someone dying? Is that just as bad as killing itself?
Your action, can you give an example?
Like say that you drink and then drive and kill somebody, but you didn't mean to do it. So that'd be your action killing somebody.
Yeah.
Or like say your inaction of you're seeing someone on the street that's like having a heart attack and you don't help them, that person ends up dying. Is it both the same?
Not the same, but okay, let me start with if you drink and hit someone and kill someone, the cause of that person's death is because of you. First, because you drive and hit him. Secondly, because you drink, which causes you to be less concentrated and less clear in your mental capacity. So that is a not as bad as intentionally killing a person, but still it's a pretty bad circumstance because you cause harm to that person. So there's a damage there. There's a bad karma there. Okay. Now, what you call unintentionally, you see someone drowning and you don't help. It may not be a very bad karma, but it indicates your lack of compassion. You know, some teacher said, hey, does it mean if you practice the 5 precepts that you're completely a good person now? You're perfect? No. That means you are not doing bad. But you have not done good yet. Let's say you see someone drowning or someone sick on the side of the street. You don't stop and help. You're not doing something good. Even though you haven't done something bad, but you're not doing something good. The effect is less damaging in terms of karma. Karmic effect may be less damaging because it's not your fault the guy is dying, but the kindness, the aspect of kindness is absent. Okay? Because in Buddhism, you not only avoid doing bad, but you should do good too. Hope that answers part of your question.
Can I add something too? The karmic consequence is if something happens to you in the future, at some point you might not have any idea, but when the time comes, no one's gonna help you too. Intentionally, because you didn't help that person. That's how karma also works as well.
Okay, now improve the quality of your mind and resulting in wisdom. How would that result in your wisdom? Does anybody know?
Before we will go to Samadhi, I have a question from the 5 precepts. Since I started like here 4 months ago, I only have taken like 2 glasses of wine and New Year's, Christmas. Boom. However, with my friends, if I invite them, I'm going to want to invite them to my place. They drink tequila. I'm not going to make it. Could I offer to them if I know that they like the tequila?
Okay, there's a soft answer and there's a hard answer. Okay? Start with a hard answer. They're saying you're offering disaster to the person.
Or put it on the table and the ones that wants to take.
You're handing that person a disaster. Whether it's through your politeness or whether that thing is to be consumed or not. In fact, they even said that, an air hostess on an airplane, when a customer orders a drink, she has to offer, right? But the fact that she is taking that drink to that person, she is a bridge between that bad action. So may not be very serious, but still you complete the bad thing for that person to be done.
How?
If you ask me as a hardcore monk, I would say, no, don't do it.
Even if it's their decision to take it or not, and it's a small one?
Ideally, let them pour it themselves. Let them pour it themselves so that you don't have any connection. Because let's just pretend, because like he says, you're giving them poison, and you have to think of it like that. But let's just say they leave and they get into a car accident. You're gonna feel responsible. So it's better to just not.
Correct.
And the monks, because I've asked before, they recommend in terms of gifts, do not give alcohol. If you know, don't do it. But if you want to, and it's up to you, right? It's your own journey, but you at least have guidelines. So
Anything that can harm a person is not a good idea to give.
Yeah, so if they come to your place, they bring tequila, you're no judgment, they can do it, but like I have my birthday, my friends from here come, but I don't supply the alcohol. If they want to drink, they can go and buy it themselves, and that doesn't cause any conscious harm.
B is a living testament about the environment of drinking? Maybe you
Yes.
can expound a little bit more.
Oh yeah, because I have all of my friends outside the center. Because outside the center, like I'm 50-50. I'm still not, you know, I'm not a ubasika, like peeing or the ones that really commit their lives. But, you know, I still really honor a lot of the things that I learned from the center. But I also have friends that are still having fun. But, you know, I'm friends with them, but I'm not going to partake because I'm committed to observing the 5 precepts. So I can give you some practical guidance and advice because I live it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but what's amazing is I find with my own commitment, I've been observing the 5 precepts for over 10 years now. And people who don't know me and maybe like see pictures, they might think that I consume whatever, but I don't care because I know. One thing that's amazing is when you get to the point where you've committed to this journey for this long, it's the one thing that no one can take away from you because it's something that you've done. So you actually go back and you're really proud of being able to be committed to your own good deeds for yourself. So it's something that's very real and powerful. And the important thing is because of that truth, you can actually make a wish on that truth because it's something good that you've done, that you've been committed to, and there's power in that. So you can say, you know, because of the truth that I've committed to the 5 precepts, this is what I am hoping for. May the power of my commitment kind of like results in whatever it is I'm hoping for. And there's power in that too.
You know, it's funny. I was in, you know, I can relate, you know, coming from that culture. Like when I was with my family in Colombia in December, they had a New Year's party. And so everyone was like, oh, you gotta drink, you gotta drink, you gotta do this. And they have something called aguardiente. And that's like really, really strong stuff. And then the champagne. And so something told me to go to the store and get 7-Up. And I did. When everyone got like really, really drunk, I put that in my champagne glass.
Man,
Hey, te digo, salud, you know. And then I had to drive everyone home in the stick shift. I almost forgot how to drive stick shift because this is up in the mountains. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
it's a good thing.
yeah,
that
to get Latin cultures because there's so much drinking involved. Party, kid's birthday party, everyone's drinking. So I try, you know, every now and then I slip up, but I try to slip in the soda when everyone else is like really drunk. You know, let me get some 7-Up. It looks the same. Champagne, so.
Actually, someone, Trevor asked one of his questions, which was really good because, you know, this is going to pertain to those of us here who are trying to uphold the 5 precepts as best as we can. Of course, you might slip up sometimes because we're not perfect, but our aim is to try. But he asked, he says, whenever, he didn't go into details, but he obviously missed the 5 precepts. He did something right. And he asked, when he misses the 5 precepts, he feels guilty. And he asked if that's like, what do you do with that guilt when you don't uphold your 5 precepts intact? And we asked Monk Barin said, you know, just forgive yourself. You know, I mean, try better. Tomorrow's another day. Like, yeah, you might have slipped up and taken a sip of whatever, but like, try tomorrow, you know? And in the end, it's your own journey, so you have to do what makes sense for you and what fits your environment, however it is, but you're gonna feel it, so you're gonna do things that don't make you feel guilty in the future. So you slowly kind of like chip away and you slowly commit because you use wisdom to kind of develop yourself and know that you don't want to be like that. And 2, I used to research because I do have a lot of friends that drink, and I used to be like, man, I would love it if there's a pill that you just toss into the drink and the alcohol like dissolves and you can drink it and no one knows because then you're cool and you're still part of everyone, and you know, you feel like you're not that like anomaly, I guess. But what's amazing is, you know, society now, and I think it's only a matter of time before more and more people aren't drinking, and it's like it's something that's normal, which is starting to become, because it used to just be I was the only one who didn't drink alcohol. Now there's more and more people. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and people are just kind of tired of drinking alcohol, but it is becoming more of a social norm. So I'm so excited to see that in my lifetime. And I even hear that the younger generation, they don't even want to drink anymore because it's not good for your body. It's like poison. They're more doing it for, you know, health reasons, but it doesn't matter. So I think it's only a matter of time before people start to, it's not like the social norm anymore that it's expected that you always should have a drink in your hand.
Yeah, as you said, it's improving and people are starting to be more conscious about health. In the old days, everybody drank soda, right? Coke. Nowadays, people carry fresh water, just water, right? Bottled water. And in the old days, everybody smoked. If you don't smoke, you're not cool. And now, when you smoke, you look kind of dumb, out of fashion, right? And eventually, maybe people will drink less. In fact, I believe it's already that trend, right? Okay, shall we move on? Yeah. By the way, welcome back, teacher. Happy to hear your smiley face again.
I was like, wait, me? Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the core practice of Buddhism, which includes the three things: morality, concentration, and meditation. Sila, samadhi. Samadhi is mental cultivation, meditation. And now we're talking about the effect or the benefit of those practices. Why do you practice? Why do you practice Sila? Here's the reason, the benefit. Why do you practice samadhi or meditation? Here. Okay, now there's one word that every Thai person or Buddhist country like Laos, Burma, Sri Lanka know very well: sati. Sati is translated in English as mindfulness, which, English translation from Pali is always narrowed. But sati actually has a lot more meaning. But the best explanation from officially is it's kind of like a thing that control your mind from wandering or from losing focus. It's like restraining your mind to go everywhere, to help you focus, help you concentrate, comparing to when you train a horse, you tie the horse to the pole, and sati is that pole, that rope that ties the horse, and the horse run around without going too far away, okay? And that sati, that post, is the one that makes sure that your concentration, your mindfulness does not go out of control, okay? It's kind of like a gatekeeper, as another way of explaining that any bad thought, bad feeling, and all that comes to you, there's this gate, that screen, like a gate in a city. Actually, this example came from the scripture, by the way. That when people come into the city, you have this gate and you have the guards to make sure not bad people come to your city. So sati is like that, okay? It's mindfulness. That's why a lot of times when you listen to Dharma, they can't avoid using Pali words because the English translations often are inadequate to cover the Pali meanings. Okay, so people in Thailand only say sati. Okay, we don't use any other description because it covers everything. The monks here use sati. Okay, so this word you're gonna find a lot if you do involved in Buddhism studies or practice. Okay, and samadhi make you wiser, more clear, more perceptive. I'm sure you probably heard a lot already from teaching monks in meditation, why meditation help your mind more clear, more wise, smarter, okay, more intuitive. Do I need to go through that, or maybe B, you want to expound?
Okay, just what samadhi is?
Yeah, no, why samadhi make you wiser or smarter?
I mean, there's 100 reasons why. So I've said it before in class on a Wednesday. Actually, I just said this past Wednesday that, I used to hand out 100 benefits to meditation. Just from Googling it, you'll have a list of 100 benefits. but you know the benefits are going to be different depending on each person that they're there. So there's just so many benefits. Oh, and the venerable monk Narongshai this past Wednesday taught our class, and he was emphasizing, you know, meditation's not just for relaxation purposes. He's like, a lot of people might come here for relaxation and stress, but when it really, you know, when you look at it, it's extremely profound, and he hopes that people will meditate for more than just stress and relaxation, because there's so much more meditation can do in terms of a benefit. So yeah, that was a really good kind of topic.
In general, Western people think meditation is to help calm your mind, give you more peace, make you more restful, and so on and so forth, and that's it, right? But in Buddhist practice, meditation is a lot beyond that, a lot more than that. Okay?
Now, does the meditation give you, like, just help you become more mindful so that you can become more wise, or is there more of a direct route from meditation to wisdom?
Okay, it does make you more wise, more perceptive, more intelligent, even, okay? Many students who didn't do well in class, and there are so many examples, and then the teachers advise them to do meditation, and after a while, after meditating a while, their performance is much better. Take for example the monk, the number 3 monk in our temple, who studied medical science, medicines, a doctor, right? He said in his bio, at the beginning he was almost the last in class, and then until he started practicing meditation, he became the number 1 in class, head of class. This is one example. There are so many more. The reason is when you meditate, okay, to give you a very, very basic example is, you know, your mind is so turbulent, right? The mind never stops, okay? It's never restful. It's like a water, like a pool of water that is disturbed by wind, by waves, by whatever. It's so turbulent you can't see below. But when the pool becomes still, no wind, no air, no movement, the sediment settles down, okay? The cloudiness of the water become clear. Now you can see what is underneath. This is how they compare meditation. Meditation is stilling the mind, settling the mind, let the mind be quiet, be still. And then when your mind is still, it gives you more clarity, okay? Clearness of mind, clearness of thinking, they give you clarity, okay? And that's why you have better memory. Many examples have been tested. Like memory is another one. You have much better memory when you meditate a few times, a while, which therefore help you in your study, help you in your work, help you in a lot of things, help you in your concentration in sports or what have you. I wonder whether that answers some of the.
Yeah, I think it's indirect. Sounds like the answer, but it's
which one
the
is
stillness
more direct that you
Excuse me?
would like to hear.
I'm sorry. What?
Which one is more directness that I should maybe?
No, I don't think it is direct. It sounds like it's indirect. It's when your mind is calm, you can see into the water, and that's, you know, it's not a direct action. It's actually inaction.
Another example is, you know, when you're angry, can you think? Can you think clearly? Even what you're about to say, you lose control, right? Meditation is another way of calming your anger, you know, and your negative emotions. Meditation actually help you get rid of negative emotions. And negative emotion is like the turbulent dirt and whatever that mess up your mind. You know, it's hard for anyone to believe it without practice. You have to practice to find out for yourself. And don't expect to happen in like a week or two. You know, it's like eating vitamin or some kind of food. it does not happen like in a day or two. It takes time. It's like watering a plant. The plant don't just grow the next day. It takes time. Meditation is the same way. Training your mind takes time. You know, some people it takes a few months, some people take many years. Okay? But this is something that you have to do to know. I can talk till I'm green, but you will never really appreciate that is true until you do it.
So I just want to add along the same lines because I remember it resonating with me more with this analogy, which is, and many of us are familiar with this because our monks talk about it all the time, but you take a glass and you put dirt on the glass, you stir it up, that's like your defilements, greed, anger, and delusion. But as soon as you put it down and just let it sit, then the remnants go to the bottom and then the water becomes clear. That's exactly like the mind. But our mind has other things that have clouded it, which is desires, which is delusion, anger, resentment, all these feelings, and even responsibilities, I would say, is in there, kind of just makes your mind heavy. But as soon as you work to just, not even work, but you train your mind to just let go and be still, and then you connect to yourself, that's very powerful because we don't really take the time to do that. We're always just distracting ourselves, you know?
I heard a really awesome metaphor for it.
Yeah.
I like the coupling, but another one that I heard, I think yesterday, was that you're like a photographer waiting by a lake to photograph animals. You just have to be really still and wait for them to come like drink at the lake. There's nothing you can do to bring them there faster, and if you make too much noise or move around, you'll scare them off.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to be there very, very still and just wait.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, on the subject of samadhi, meaning mental cultivation and concentration, I would like for you guys to spend the next 2-3 minutes to test, okay? The method that shows up in the scripture, which was directly spoken by the Buddha, in terms of the method in meditation, is called anapanasati, meaning reflection on breath or mindfulness of breath. Okay, some hardcore monks said the Buddha never suggests any other methods except this one, and the Buddha actually practiced this one. Okay, let's see, maybe I should. I don't always do this, but I'll do it here because it's the one that you see a lot when you watch YouTube or read or whatever. Okay, this is the method of meditation that the Buddha taught directly. Anapanasati, meaning reflection on breath or mindfulness of breath. The Pali word for ana means out, pana means in, and sati means mindfulness. Let's do a little quick test as to how your mind can be calm or jump around, okay, by doing the following. Reflect on your breath when you breathe in. This is according to the Buddha. When you breathe in, be aware that you are breathing in. When you breathe out, be aware that you're breathing out. Okay? So when you breathe long, just pay your attention, pay concentration on your breathing, that the air comes in, or when you breathe long, go out, depending on how long, how short your each breath is, okay? So let's take the next couple of minutes to see how many breaths that you can be sure your mind don't jump around, okay? In other words, you don't think about nothing at all, not even slightly, okay? And be honest to yourself after that, after the next 2 or 3 minutes. Tell us How many breaths were you able to actually do without thinking? Because your mind jumps a lot, okay? So let's close your eyes slightly and then start breathing the teachings of all the monks, okay? When monks are being taught to be most afraid of is the word avijja, meaning ignorance, unknowing. Again, as I said earlier, English words are quite narrow in translation, but avijja meaning the lack of knowing, the lack of knowledge, the unawareness. By having wisdom, which is usually mostly cultivated from meditation, it gives you panya, wisdom. And panya is a weapon against avijja, okay? Avijja is the root cause of many or most human problems because you don't know it's wrong, you commit wrongdoing. Many people do things that are wrong and they don't know that it's wrong. Okay? I'm sure even us today, sometimes we don't know that what we are about to do is wrong. But having wisdom will kind of guide you away from that kind of a lack of knowing or knowledge. Yeah, like I said, you put yourself in the wrong places, making wrong choices, action, whatever. Take, for example, because you lack the wisdom that, hey, drinking is bad for you and for the people that you serve, you go apply for a job as a bartender, as a waitress, serving drinks. You do it because you didn't know it's wrong. Okay? Some people have no choice. They have to do it for survival, but many people do it because it's not knowing it's wrong. Like when you copy products, knockoff products. Many companies in the world knock off products, and they don't know it's wrong. Many Asian countries do that, making fake products, or sometimes they lie to get away. They don't know it's wrong, but lacking the wisdom is the cause of of such wrongdoing. Having wisdom is a weapon against the lack of knowing. Wisdom, clarity. Okay, now we talk about wisdom again. What is wisdom? In Pali is panya. Self-explanatory. I'm gonna just cut short, okay? You have question? Please ask. So I won't go beyond that time too much.
By seeing things as they are, do you mean seeing things as suffering and that's the reality of things?
Or to see things as they really are, okay? What should I say? Let's say, suppose you are keen, let's say in choosing a political party or a candidate, because you love the guy looked good, the guy's smart, but you miss some of the things that make him not right to be the candidate, like our previous president, for example. Okay, many people think he was great, love America, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden they commit wrongdoing because of his leadership. So you don't see the truth, you see what is on the surface. You see someone to be a good person, okay? maybe because of prejudice, because he's your friend or he's your family or someone you love or like, okay? And then you don't see a lot of things that is not right with that person. I don't know. It's hard for me to give you a clear example. Maybe B can help.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Actually, that's a very good question in terms of right view, because it's extremely expansive. I don't really think it's just like one way of answering it. It can go into the context of as simple as seeing things as they really are, which is reality for what it is, seeing the impermanence of existence, understanding samsara, getting out of samsara. All this is considered right view. Right view is also, there's like I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 different things laid out. In fact, I think you talked about it once, about right view.
I would like to maybe show right view. Maybe give me 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he actually showed it once in terms of right view. There's like 8 different guidelines to understanding what that means. So it's not as easy as seeing the suffering. Sure, that is part of right view, but there's just more than just that. You know,
Yeah, I have the stuff laid out here. Okay, I'll show it.
yeah.
Now, anyway, these are
So
the
you
kind of
can-
wisdom, 3 kinds, 3 categories of wisdom. Again, let me just cut short and go to the how wisdom is acquired. I always run out of time. This is a little bit more difficult, but perhaps we can leave it for next, okay? So that I can get the right view. Okay, this one, most important. Now, here we come. Okay, in terms of right view, there are 2 levels. One is a mundane level that everybody practices. The other one is a transcendental or more advanced level that people who seek liberation, like monks and stuff, practice. Now, here's the definition or explanation of what right view is. Now, the transcendental level of right view is to understand and know suffering completely, okay? And also the cause of suffering, the way out of suffering, and the ultimate goal to get out of suffering, which is in this category. The next one is law of karma. So to answer your question, it's not that simple. It's big, broad. And to understand the 3 characteristics of life, okay, these are the true nature of things. This is impermanence, okay, suffering, and non-self.
Nasser, didn't you have I remember you did this before, where there was right view and there were 8 different
Yeah.
guidelines.
That's a mundane level.
Okay.
This is a more
Right.
higher level. More for people who are more serious about attaining liberation. What is liberation? Freedom from suffering. Okay, the next one is a mundane level. We comprise of the following.
So to answer your question, basically, this is the list. That's what I was
If
trying
you don't
to
know any of
remember
these,
why.
you don't have the wisdom, according to practice.
If you don't see this and you don't agree with it, then that's wrong view. If you understand it and it makes sense to you, then this is right view.
Samadhi. Samadhi.
Yeah, that's a Pali word for sama means good, titi means view. Good or right view.
Okay.
Well, as the example I gave earlier about precept, like in Judaism or Islam religion, one precept is you shall not eat pork. So eating pork is make you go to hell. Is that a right view or wrong view according to this? I don't think it falls
It's
in
not
the
in there.
category of right view.
Right. It's not in there, so if it's not in there, it's
Yeah.
wrong view.
It's your view that make you do things accordingly. If you have the right view, you do things according to the right thinking, the right understanding.
And this is wisdom.
Yeah.
It's part of what wisdom has to know. Wisdom has to know right view. It's not all wisdom, okay? Wisdom is broad. See, the thing I don't like about our session is not continuous. When you get into some subject which takes more explanation, you have to wait for 2 more weeks and then the audience changes.
But Nasrin, you know, I know that there are people who consider themselves Buddhists, but it's hard for them to identify or agree
I
with
know.
there is life after death. So what would that make them? Because they're Buddhists, but and I can see people
Okay.
not believing in heaven and hell because
See, if you don't believe there is life after death, this is it, right? If you die, it's gone over. Then you don't care about a lot of things to be responsible for. Okay? You can make a lot of things and who care, you know, die is over. But if you believe in rebirth, there is punishment, there is reward, then you are more conscious about what you do, more responsible for your action. That's why they say if you don't believe in life after death, it's not the right view, because then you could care less about, you know.
actually I remember teachers talking about this concept and they said that even if you don't believe in life after death, you can still practice all these because if
That's
it
correct.
does exist, then you're protected. So it's important to actually see this as something to try to attain, even if you don't believe in future rebirths. And I think that's important because
That's
I don't
correct.
think everyone's going to believe in that here. But it's important to realize that even if you don't believe in that there is existence after leaving this physical form, that these practices, it doesn't hurt to abide by, because then if it's real, you go to a good place.
That's why last session I included Kalama Sutta in the section of wisdom. Kalama Sutta is the discourse by the Buddha who said, don't believe and don't disbelieve. Don't believe because your teacher says so, because your guru says so, because your religion says so, or even because I say so. Until you practice, experience, and realize that is true. So even this, you don't have to believe it. Really, you don't have to believe anything, because the Buddha never said you must believe everything I say. Like some other religions that you have to do or else, you know. But here we give you the way of thinking, but it's your choice whether you want to think like that or believe like that or not. It's up to you, because the Buddha said, I only show you the way. I don't drag you along to that destination.
No compulsion. I get
Huh?
it. No compulsion.
No compulsion.
Well, I think the life after death thing can be thought of more of an abstract way too. You know, maybe it's a metaphor for something, as opposed to literal. But it could be either one. So I mean, even if you didn't believe in it, maybe you could get the same thing out of it somehow.
Well, our abbot, our famous abbot, used to say in Thai frequently, whether you believe or not, okay, would you rather believe it now or see it after death? That's his famous quote. You know, whether would you rather believe it now and then be cautious in your act, or you rather see it when you die? Meaning, you know, if you committed some bad doing, you end up in the punishing realm Would you rather do that? Or would you rather play safe by believing it now, okay, to play safe? Does it hurt to believe that good and bad actions have consequences? Is it damaging for you to believe like that? Does it hurt or is it damaging for you to believe that there's life after death? Does it harm your day-to-day living? Hurt your business? Right? Make you lose credibility? And is it bad to believe that generosity is virtuous and should be practiced? What is the harm of believing in that? Okay? And then, is it dumb to believe that virtuous people should be worthy of respect? Or hospitality is good, or enlightenment is attainable? Would any of these view make you a less intelligent person?
It actually makes you happier when you start practicing them. You see for yourself, and this
So
is
whether
how
you choose to believe in
practice.
it or not, ask
Ask
yourself as an intelligent person, as someone who is wise, would it be wiser to believe in this or to disbelieve in this?
And any wise person will always say to you that they don't know everything. That's what a true wise person is, someone who realizes that they don't have the answer, that they're only a student of life.
So I think maybe we should end here.
Yes. Okay, picture.